Who here hasn't been to space?
Why?
You better not throw up on my ship.
Approaching jump in 3, 2, 1.
And the next one, sticking with that Star Wars conversation there, is the things going on with the Acolyte. So for those of you that don't know, about 2.5 fucking years ago, we learned that they were going to do a show called The Acolyte. And ever since that 2 years came out about The Acolyte being a show back in 2019, announced at D23, we've not heard shit about it. Oh. We've not heard anything besides that the lead actor from Squid Games was going to be one of the main characters in the show. We also got, I forget her name, so Daphne. Daphne is also going to be in the Acolyte show there. I believe she's playing one of the Siths. But like I said, up until we got the news about the lead actor from Squid Game going to be one of the main characters in there, we got that Daphne is going to be in the show as well. We hadn't heard anything about Acolyte. Like, Acolyte just wasn't being discussed. Every time Lucasfilm gets up on stage at a D23 type event,
they never brought it up.
San Diego Comic-Con type event, a CPX whatever type event, they only ever talk about shit we know. Even Acolyte. We know about Acolyte, but we don't know about Acolyte. So why not talk to us about Acolyte? At every event, they talk about Mando Season 3, Bad Batch Season 2. That's it. Yeah, that's it. Star Wars doesn't, they don't go in on anything, you know? So this was actually pretty positive to see finally something from Acolyte. And then a few days ago, we got it might have been yesterday, maybe not a few days ago, but it might have been yesterday. I think we got the set photo leaks from the Acolyte, which actually look pretty damn cool because it actually looks, bro. When the photos look like Star Wars, I'm happy.
You're like that's
the
what
photos are just because again, I know a lot of people are like Andor. It just
wasn't your cup of tea.
You know, Andor wasn't even in the Nielsen's top 10. Like viewership, like no one was watching Andor. That's what I was trying to get at when I was talking about Andor, was no one was watching it. Yeah, there was a small majority of talking about it, but it wasn't in the Nielsen's top at all. Like right. No one was talking about Andor. No one was watching Andor. So there's reasons, because people are losing faith in Lucasfilm. But
hopefully they'll get it together.
This is coming from StarWarsNews.net. And they said the Acolyte will show how the Sith infiltrated the Jedi Order, according to Daphne Keane. Okay, her name was literally in the title, and I didn't see it. According to cast member Daphne Keane Logan, his Dark Materials. The Disney Plus series Star Wars The Acolyte will show how the Sith were able to lay the groundwork to subvert the Republic and conquer the Jedi over a century before the events of Phantom Menace. Speaking with Tech Radar while promoting the final season of his Dark Materials, Keane was asked if she could share any information about The Acolyte after joking about the obvious. I can tease that it's a prequel. Keane went into a bit of depth further context how the series fits into the tapestry of Star Wars. I mean, this is Daphne King speaking. She said, I mean, as you know, it's set 100 years before the prequel movies. Now that is 100 years before the prequel movies is the High Republic era. Okay. And it's kind of an explanation of how the Sith infiltrate the Jedi. It's a Sith-led story which has never been done before. It's been really fun to film. The cast is amazing and the director and crew are just lovely. The whole experience is wonderful and I'm already excited for people to see it. Then
so this is a prequel before the prequel?
Yeah, a prequel before the prequel. Then she says the Acolyte is a distant prequel to the Phantom Menace, described as being a mystery thriller that will take viewers into a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic era. About two Jedi investigating a series of unusual. Boy, this sounds good. I just hope they deliver, though. I'm trepidatious. Yeah. A series of unusual crimes tied to a far more sinister plot. The series is a tie-in to the High Republic multimedia initiative, the books. I tried to read High Republic. I stopped. So if you've read High Republic, let me know. Also, I showed you guys the trailer to Eclipse, which is a video game that's going to be taking place during High Republic. That trailer came out a year ago today. Ask me if Star Wars Lucasfilm has talked about it since then. They haven't.
No.
That's because that's what they do. That's what Lucasfilm does. They give you shit, then they don't talk about it for 6 to 10 years.
And you're just
So
like, okay.
yeah, a year ago today, Eclipse that plays. I think Eclipse is going to play a role into the wider, because all things Star Wars do, into the wider Star Wars universe. Because why do a game set in the High Republic era, do a show set in the High Republic era, do a book series set in the High Republic era if it's not all going to tie together?
That is true. Okay, I see your point.
So I think that's what it's going to do. But then it goes on to say, let me see, which details the peak of the Galactic Republic before its decline, showcased in the prequel trilogy, which led to the creation of the Galactic Empire in episodes 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
The show's star-studded cast includes the likes of, now y'all know me and names, Amanda Steinberg, Lee, and this is the dude from Squid Games, Lee Jung-jae, if I'm saying that correctly.
Okay.
Manny Giacchetto, Daphne Keane, Jodie Turner-Smith, Rebecca Henderson, Charlie Barnett, Dean Charles Chapman, and Carrie Ann Moss. Star Wars The Acolyte is now in production and will be released on Disney+. No official release date, of course, has been given because you haven't talked about it.
Right.
But you know what? That's fine. Maybe they're taking their time. Let me stop shitting on them. Maybe they're taking their time.
Maybe they're just,
But the series is expected to arrive either very late in 2023 or very early in 2024. I'm gonna go the very early 2024.
2024 is about to be lit, y'all.
Yeah.
So many shows are coming back. So many new things are gonna get started. I'm excited for 2024.
I'm excited. I'm excited for all the stuff that's coming out, and especially, like I said, with this, I'm excited because this is going to be focused on the Sith. We have never seen a Star Wars story told, at least in film or series media, told from the Sith's point of view, and that's where I was going when I was saying earlier that the misnomer that the dark side and the Sith are one and the same. That's not. Again, that's what I was saying earlier. It's just not true. The Sith. It's a choice to be, when you make that decision to be a Sith, that is a choice. But the dark side, you can Jedi, it's even, I wouldn't even say it's argued or questionable, but no, even Windu at moments dabbles in the dark side. Like, Windu is one of the stronger Jedi, one of the more formidable, stronger Jedi, but Windu at times even dabbles in the dark side. Like, when I say dabbles in the dark side, it's not like he's not Palpatine, Vader, Grievous, Dooku type, Bane type,
right,
dabbling in the dark side, but there are moments of rage or anger, as we've seen Anakin do, dabble in the dark side but still be a Jedi.
Right.
But once you make the decision, as we saw Count Dooku do in Tales of the Jedi, once you make that decision to be a Sith. When he made the decision to turn his lightsaber on Yaddle, he was not a Sith yet. He was still a Jedi. Dooku was a Jedi until he turned his lightsaber on Yaddle. When he turned his lightsaber on Yaddle, that solidified it. He made the decision to become a Sith Lord.
Okay.
So
it's intense.
Yeah, dark side and Sith, it's not.
And this is a prequel before. So this is basically how it got started and how the Empire became the Empire that we know.
Yeah, this is giving just a background on the Sith during the High Republic era, because moving into Phantom Menace, that's all Palpatine, Emperor Palpatine. Palpatine, in my opinion, is the greatest Sith Lord of, and some people might argue because there are some great legend Siths in the Old Republic, but none of them accomplished what Palpatine accomplished.
Okay.
Palpatine is a master manipulator. He's been pulling the puppet strings since day fucking one. I don't know how the Jedi, I know how, because the Jedi were just so arrogant. They were so a room full of monks that thought that they were just at the height of their power, and they were at the height of their power. I mean, they hadn't seen any Sith or dark side in over 100 years. Since the High Republic era, the Sith to them were extinct. So when Qui-Gon came and explained to them, and which I love Tales of Jedi, because Tales of Jedi furthers on that. When Qui-Gon went to the council and tried to talk to them and tell them, I encountered a Sith Lord. they looked at him as if he was high.
Yeah.
They were like, what do you mean? The Sith have been dead
Like
for
their
over a
ignorance.
millennium.
Yeah, like their ignorance was just bliss.
They were so arrogant that, no, we would have felt it. Meanwhile, literally in the next room is a Sith Lord, is the Emperor. That's what I mean. Their vision had been clouded. They had strayed away from their original teachings and they fell. That's how the Jedi lost their power. Not just that, they were manipulated. They went from being keepers of the peace to being militarized, becoming generals in the army in the war that they never should have joined. If the Jedi would have never joined in the war,
they
would still be the Jedi. They would have never been overthrown.
So then this story just kind of tells us how we got to his era and when he was.
Yes, just the current Skywalker era.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Makes sense.
So
that's exciting.
It is exciting, and this is coming from Star Wars Direct. This is just some of the pictures that from the.
And the names of like actors and actresses that you listed to were all really phenomenal names. So like
he was great in Squid Games. I mean, I didn't watch. I watched some of Squid Games, but just from the things I saw, he was great. He was
really good. Yeah, I didn't sit down and. It got really intense for me. I don't know why. It kind of put my head too much. And I was just like, I don't think I can watch the rest of this. But I like the concept that we're doing here, folks.
Yeah, and I like Daphne Keane. She was fucking amazing as X-23 and Logan. So, but this is coming from Star Wars Direct. And I'm going to show you guys the set photos that leaked for it. It says, The Acolyte comes as one of Star Wars' most exciting new series premiering on Disney Plus, and a new update has offered a glimpse of what to expect. In November, Disney Plus broke its silence by officially unveiling the Acolyte full cast. Yeah, they did do that in November. They gave us the full cast. Cool. They didn't tell us shit though. While also describing the mystery thriller as a series that will explore a galaxy of shadowy secrets and emerging dark side powers in the final days of the High Republic. It's so exciting, bro. Lee Jung Jae and Amanda Steinberg are confirmed to lead the Acolyte Stellar Ensemble, with other major stars like Daphne Keane and Manny Chisato playing pivotal roles. Then it goes, this is coming from the first look here, and I'm about to show you guys that. This is coming from the Daily Mail of UK, shared the first look at the main characters of Star Wars Acolyte via set photos taken while filming in the United Kingdom, showcasing a fresh look at Lee Jung Jae and Daphne Keane in costume as their respective characters. Keane looks stunning in the new photos as she appears to channel the dark side though it's unknown if she is an actual Sith Lord yet. Bruh, now when y'all see this picture, tell me this ain't Star Wars. She looks good. Like, this is what I mean. You want to get me excited? You want to get the overall Star Wars fans excited? It ain't. I've said this before. I don't have to have lightsabers. I don't have to have Sith. I don't have to have Jedi to enjoy Star Wars.
Right.
I watched Rogue One, and Rogue One is my third favorite. It fluctuates between that 2 and 3. Sometimes Revenge is my second favorite. Sometimes Rogue One is my second favorite. All the time, Empire Strikes Back is my number 1. But Rogue One doesn't have before that scene with Vader at the end, because that was added. They kept that a very, very low secret. We didn't know. We did not. That's one thing Star Wars is good at. That's why you don't ever hear shit about Star Wars. One thing they are good at is leaks.
Yeah.
They are good when it comes to leaks. They really don't let a lot of leaks get out. So that Vader scene at the end where Vader's cutting through rebels, that shit was unknown. Because I remember sitting in the theater. I knew we were going to see Vader because of the trailers. Mm-hmm. And the scene we got with Vader, I was high on air, bro. I was like, that was so cool. And I'm not at the scene yet where he was slashing through rebels. I'm talking about when he came out and originally talked to Krennic. I know you haven't seen Rogue One, but you guys know what I'm talking about in the chat. When he came out and talked to director Krennic, that whole scene when he was like, director, you seem unsettled, and all that kind of stuff. He's like, there is no Death Star. Jedha was destroyed in a mining accident, things like that. And then when he turned around, when Krennic asked Vader, so you'll talk to the Emperor for me. You'll let him know it was my idea. Vader turned, then you hear the choke. So Vader has this ability to force choke, where he can choke you with the Force, and blah, blah, blah. So Krennic was getting a little ahead of himself. So he asked Vader, you'll speak to the Emperor for me. Then you hear there's this noise that the film will make. Film show, whatever, will make when Vader does his force choke. It's like it's sucking the air. You can kind of hear like it's this noise it makes. And so then you see Krennic kind of grabbing his neck, then he falls to the ground. And Vader's choking him. He says, "Don't choke on your aspirations, director." And then he walks away. That was good enough for me because I thought that's all we were getting. I didn't know we were getting that final scene with Vader. So when Vader showed up, I about pissed my pants.
I can imagine.
I grabbed because I was watching it with my producer Henry, my best friend Henry. I grabbed his hand and I said, "Oh my God, we are getting a young Vader. Like this is Vader at his prime, bro. Ooh. This is Vader like when it was so cool." But again, the film, you take that scene out of Rogue One. Rogue One is still an amazing Star Wars film. That's what I mean when I say I don't have to have Jedi. I don't have to have lightsabers.
And that's the thing. There's an aesthetic with all these franchises, and it's like stick with that aesthetic. If you want to go off the script, if you want to go off the comic, that's fine. But stick with the aesthetic that the fans know. If you want to keep us intrigued.
Exactly, and I'll make this image bigger for you guys so you can see it. And that's it. It's the aesthetic, and not just the aesthetic. It's the wordplay, bro.
Yes.
At the very beginning of Rogue One, when Jyn Erso is hiding, when Jyn Erso's mother is hiding her, she tells her before she leaves, "Trust in the Force." I love Rogue One, and I know Andor leads into Rogue One. And I know you might be able to say, you can probably say, well, Darius, you've only seen one episode of Rogue One, or of Andor. You haven't even seen the rest of it. Yeah, bro, she looks awesome. You guys look at that shit. She looks amazing.
She looks so badass.
Darius, you've only seen one episode of Andor. So how can you, say that it's not a good show, blah, 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 blah. Because word of mouth. And I don't want to be hypocritical and contradict myself because that's why I went and saw Wakanda Forever, because I didn't want to trust word of mouth. I needed to see it for myself. But when it comes to Star Wars, and I did watch the first episode. That first episode, that was the draw. Mm-hmm. Now, what in that first episode is making me want to watch your next one, or your next one, or your next one? Nothing in that first episode
made me want to sit down and watch the next one.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, because the aesthetic wasn't there.
It wasn't there.
I don't need the lightsabers. I don't need all that.
To enjoy Star Wars, I don't need
the aesthetic, and you didn't give me that aesthetic, so therefore I had to go.
Exactly.
No, so I definitely feel you on that.
Exactly. So I that is one of my biggest complaints and arguments when other Star Wars fans say, well, you didn't like Andor because, you just feel like Star Wars. No, I don't. Star Wars ain't got to have that shit to be Star Wars. First of all, unpopular may be a hot take. I love the politics of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Sometimes more than what's going on. Because the politics lay the groundwork of what is going on. So no, bruh. I don't have to have lightsabers or any of that. But this, when you see stuff like this, when you see how fucking good she looks, it makes you excited. It's does. Like, oh damn, we're actually going, like, 'cause she, like Gray and everybody said, she looks badass. Sir Yuji said she looks awesome. She looks fucking great. She looks great.
She looks really good.
That's true though. D Stizzle said Obi-Wan and Book of Boba Fett also had cool set picks. They did. So that's why I'm also saying, temper your fucking expectations. Mine are tempered. I'm not going in Acolyte expecting shit.
Right.
Now the photos are cool. It's great. And that's why I'm showing them.
Is the deliverance going to be there? Is the performance going to be there? Is the writing going to be there?
That's the thing.
Is the aesthetic going to be there?
That's the thing. You can throw, because we've seen cool set photos from Star Wars before, and we've been let down.
Oh yeah.
So hopefully this is good. Now here's Lee Jung Jae's pictures, and this is from also from the same thing there, and he is. He's a Jedi in the show. He's not playing a Sith. He's playing a Jedi in the show.
Okay, I was just about to ask: is he gonna be another Sith, or is he gonna be a Jedi?
He is going to be a Jedi. Let me see if I can actually just go to their Twitter page instead of doing it from the direct, so I can pull all these pictures up. Another thing, I'm sorry, I don't want this to turn into a bitch fest for Star Wars, but another thing too. When you have Andor, where are your aliens, bro? There's no aliens in Andor. Like, you have Star Wars, but no aliens. That was the appeal. That was one of the coolest things about the original, the Star Wars, the original series, the original 3. And A New Hope, when we finally get to the cantina, aliens galore.
Right.
So many different species, so many, like Star Wars themselves even tweeted it after the Moses Ingram drama that was going on. They said, and this is not word for word, but they said Star Wars has over X amount of, there's so many different species and whatever in Star Wars, being racist isn't one of them or something like that. Something they said. They even said there are so many species in Star Wars. Why the fuck aren't we seeing them in Andor?
Yeah.
That's what I mean when I say it doesn't feel like Star Wars. It was people said, oh, Star Wars for adults. I don't want Star Wars for adults. If that's it, keep that shit.
Yeah, no, because I can't sit here and think of Star Wars and not think of, like, aliens or robots,
that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? Like
it literally opens a long time ago in a galaxy far away.
Like I'm thinking, okay, we're about to see some aliens.
Like what the fuck? So yeah, bro. Like don't get me started on that Andor shit. But that's why. So hold on. I'm about to show you guys these other pictures from the set leaks and everything like that. So we've got a Zabrek here. She's playing the same species that Maul is. I don't know which actress this is, but again, this is another photo. This is something else that looks cool, and I'm still with you, Gray bro. I am still with you on. It might look good, but is it gonna deliver?
Is it going to check the boxes that I need it to check?
She looks great here. This is, again, bro, I'm sorry, this is just what I mean. I want to see, if I'm watching Star Wars, I don't want it to feel like I'm watching some New York crime show set in the future, because that's what Andor was. It was some crime show set in the future that had no ramifications to, like, yes, we saw stormtroopers, yes, the Senate was involved, yes, Mon Mothma and everything. I've heard some cool things about Mon Mothma and everything like that. In season 2, Ian McDermott might actually show up as Palpatine, all that kind of stuff. I get it. But at the time we are in Star Wars, I just don't see. Again, that just didn't feel like Star Wars to me. It just didn't. But she's a Zabrek for sure. She looks great. Then I'll show the other picture here. Let me see. I have got to get Henry over here for this fucking computer. I don't know what's going on with because this shit is so irritating how it's running. But then we've got a Wookiee character that's showing up in Acolyte. That's what I say. I don't know names. I don't know anything like that. I just know that
these are just leaks.
These are leaks. Okay. He looks great.
He looks great.
He looks great.
He looks like a Wookiee.
Yeah, he looks great. So I'm excited. I'm excited, but the excitement is tempered at the same time, because I got like this with Book of Boba Fett. Yeah. With Book of Boba Fett, I was like, yes, bro, because I was coming off of how Mandalorian was. I was like, yeah, if we're getting that Boba from Mandalorian, the way that he shot. Wait,
it came right after Mandalorian? Oh.
But Mandalorian teased it too, because Boba Fett shows up in Mandalorian, then he goes to Jabba's palace. Because the last time, again, I know you're not a Star Wars fan like that, so the last time you see Boba, he dies in episode 6. Luke killed him, or Luke didn't kill him. Luke hit his jetpack and everything.
Luke or Luke?
Not Luke, but Luke. You only see Luke in the books.
Okay.
But Luke, or he got knocked into the Sarlacc pit, and the Sarlacc, it takes like 1,000 years or something for the Sarlacc to completely digest you, I believe. I think it's 1,000 years. And in the first opening, or in Mando, you see him coming, or he comes back and everything. But at the end of the show, he goes to Jabba's palace. Jabba is he's a crime lord. He's one of the Hutts. He's the leader of the Hutts. But he goes to Jabba's palace. Jabba's already dead, because Jabba died in episode 6. So Bib Fortuna is Jabba's right hand man. Bib Fortuna took over.
Okay.
Boba Fett walks in, shoots Bib Fortuna. Damn. Sits on the throne. Krennic, who is Boba's partner, leans up against the throne, and then Boba just sits in the throne and puts his hands down. And then you start hearing this dope-ass music, and it's like, Boba Fett will return. I was like, oh my god, this is going to be dope. But then we got the fucking show. And it was nothing like that. It was nothing like that. So, yeah, no. Here's another set photo here. This is Dean Charles Chapman. He is, I'm assuming, playing a Jedi here. because he looks like he's in Jedi robing. So it looks like he's going to be playing a Jedi. It does look like it's, like I said, Acolyte, the photos look good. The question is, are they going to deliver? Question is, are they going to be able to deliver?
I hope so, especially since they brought it up so long ago. I'm pretty sure fans have been talking about it for years now since they've mentioned it. Yeah. They got some really good actors and actresses in it. I really hope they can pull through.
I really hope. I need them to. As a I'm
Ahsoka
hopeful
for you.
Yeah. For Ahsoka's my jam. That's what I'm waiting on. But I do need them. I need them to. I really do. I really, really do. Please, please, Lucasfilm. Please.
If anyone.
Get this right. Please get it right.
Can hear this now. All Darius wants for Christmas.
That's it. That's it. I'm not even a Christmas person, but please, if you want to give me something for Christmas, please make it good Star Wars content. Good. But yeah,
just get it right and just make it good.
That is definitely what's going on there with the Acolyte and things like that. So we kind of have an overall plot reveal there. We've gotten some set photo leaks, and as it continues to get closer, more and more is going to come out. Hopefully, because like I said at the beginning, Star Wars is really good at keeping things tight-lipped.
Now, would you be surprised if this is all we get until closer in time? You wouldn't be surprised. I was about to say.
I'm used to Lucasfilm ignoring me. I'm used to having, Lucasfilm is like Lucasfilm is that parent that they're there, but they're not really parenting you. It's like, it's like, do what you want, whatever.
Just
and then every now
me.
and then I'll kick you in the dick. I'll punish you every now and then. But, do what you want.
Don't do anything.
Because I'm not talking to you.
Yeah, that's going to bother me. And if you do, I'm going to.
I don't expect to see anything until we get a trailer.
But I'm
something.
okay with what we have been given because it's definitely intriguing.
And the mystique is around it too. The what is it really going to look like? That's something I do like about Lucasfilm being so tight-lipped about leaks is because
it keeps you
on edge.
Your toes,
yeah, so when you finally get to see it, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty cool. Sometimes it's actually pretty cool. So
try not to go into it with too much expectations. Yeah,
but question is always for you guys. Let us know down below in the comments what you're thinking. Are you excited for Acolyte? Are you more like myself and D-Stizzle, where you're like, temper your fucking expectations because we've been kicked in the dick before by them. And also with KK being gone or leaving during the summer of 2023 or before summer of 2023, are you more hopeful for what this could look like? Now, obviously, this is a project that's still going to be coming out under KK and things like that. But after she leaves, are you hopeful for the future of Star Wars? Or are you one of those fans like myself that I love Star Wars? I'm not giving up on Star Wars, but I'm a bit exhausted. So let me know down below in the comments what you guys are thinking.